So now you've set up really great initiation information. What I want you to think about is your regular project meeting rhythm. Often the success of a project is actually more dependent by the communication and the ongoing dialogue between team members than any detailed project plan or anything. I'm not saying don't have a project plan, but if your team isn't meeting on it regularly and aren't talking to each other about their challenges and what their priorities are for the coming weeks, then you probably aren't going to see a lot of progress. So right at the beginning, I want you to set up the meeting rhythm from the start. So you've got to think about what meetings you actually need. Now, they could be phone call meetings, they could be 10-minute stand-ups, they could be hour-long detailed sort of working meetings. It doesn't really matter what they are, you've got to work out what's going to be best for your project, but the importance is the setting up of the regularity, the setting of an agenda, and the discipline to maintain it. So you need to know who's got to be at those meetings, when they are, where they'll be, and what the purpose of them is. Now, one of my tips is really not to try and make an all things to all people meeting, because it usually doesn't work and most of the people there will feel like you're wasting their time. So I rather have a few smaller meetings and maybe scattered out a bit. They might not always have to be weekly, you might be able to have some monthly or fortnightly, but be really, really clear on the purpose of them and really clear on who's got to be there and why and what you want out of it. Then that's all going to be in your schedule of communications. So I'll give you some examples. What I suggest is you have at least a monthly meeting with your sponsor. If your sponsor is very heavily involved in the project, you might need more, but if they're kind of leaving you to run the project, then monthly is fine. If they want more than monthly, I would be saying to them, monthly is the minimum. So what you want in a sponsor meeting is enough time, that enough activity's gone on that you've got something to talk about and something to show, but not enough time that if there's an issue or a roadblock, that it hasn't been dealt with quickly. So usually about monthly works quite well. Your project team, I know probably in a lot of your projects you're all going to be working off independently on different things. But what I like to see is the project coming together and reviewing that plan. Because what happens when everyone works independently is that they forget that their piece of work is a small piece in a bigger piece of work. And popping back in together as a team, seeing the plan and getting a reminder of how your activities fit in with everyone else's and how everyone's going really helps the team to work really well together. So usually for a project team meeting, I'd be saying about weekly or fortnightly. Again, it depends on your project, and you might do a half an hour or you might do an hour if you're going to be doing a bit more detailed discussion as well. Plus, you might have some other meetings. So we've spoken before about steering groups and advisory groups. You might have different points where stakeholders come in. It's just about recognising when you want them, where you want them, and if they need to be regular or if they might just be ad hoc, because sometimes that is the case. Just be really clear on what they are and make sure you write all that down.